Hello, and welcome to another episode of Absolutely Positively. And I'm your host, Denny Kay, and we are amongst the mountains today. Every week, I try to create a place, especially for you, some place to inspire, to motivate, and encourage you. And that's what we do here. This is designed especially for you so you can be great or elevate you to greatness. So, we are here in the mountains, and if you've been following me, you know it's for a reason. Every week, I try to change my background to give you a little motivation, to give you a little preview of where we will be going in this episode. So, let's jump right to it. Today, we'll be reaching into our motivational jar, positive quotes, and usher us into a place of inspiration to greatness. And without further ado, let's go right to it. So today's quote comes from the ever so wonderful Muhammad Ali, fighter, activist, just overall wonderful person who is just an inspiration himself, right? But today his quote links with our mountain. I hope you can see it. Okay, all right. It isn't the mountain ahead to climb that will wear you down. It's the pebble in your shoe. Again, it isn't the mountains ahead that wear you down. It's the pebbles in your shoe. Woo! I feel like I heard some amens right there. That's a really good one. So thank you, Muhammad Ali, the late great Muhammad Ali. And that is a wonderful place for us to start. We will have mountains to climb. We will have valleys. We will have rivers, as the song says. Ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no river low enough. Ain't no valley wide enough to keep me from you. So I think that if we really look at it, every day is going to have some kind of challenge or mountain. And I think mountain is a little more than the usual challenge because it's something that just seems so impossible to do unless you've been trained to do so. But in this quote, he tells us that climbing the mountain is really not the problem. The problem is that pebble in your shoe. The pebble in your shoe. So you can have the intention to say, I'm gonna conquer this challenge, or I'm gonna conquer this platform, this project. I'm gonna give it my all. I have the intention. I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna get the tools needed to climb the mountain. I'm gonna get my presentation together for this project that's coming up. I'm going to study for this test that I know that's going to make or break my career. So you do all those things, the tools. You get all of that stuff together. And Muhammad Ali says, yeah, that this mountain, yeah, that's a great feat. It's going to be something that's going to leave you breathless. You're going to get fatigue. It's going to wear you down, but that's not really what's going to get you. It's the pebble in your shoe. It's the pebble in your shoe. And what is the pebble? You say, Deni Kay, what's the pebble? I'm gonna tell you what the pebble is. Pebble is those naysayers. The pebble is that nagging, nagging thing that just will not let you keep going because it just stops you from doing what you're set out to do. It can be so many things. I'll let you fill in the blank for that. But that is what's going to wear you down. We're reminded of, or I'm reminded with this quote of the story, The Princess and the Pea, one of my favorite stories as a child. And literally, it was about who was going to feel that pebble or that pea, excuse me, under the bed, and who was going to say something about it. The queen and the king knew that they had to find their son had to get married, and they wanted to make sure it was the right person. And they had these ladies spend the night and more or less put that pea up under there to see if someone would say something. But only one person did so, and of course, she became the princess. But I'm reminded of that because she wasn't afraid to acknowledge that there was a pea there, and it made her uncomfortable and that she didn't have a good sleep. And so sometimes those pebbles, we ignore it. We'll keep we'll keep it in our shoe and we'll just keep going because what? We don't want to stop. We don't want to take it out. We don't want to take the time to acknowledge it. And we stop ourselves from completing a goal because for whatever reason we make excuses. Oh, I got tired, or well, there's a pebble in my shoe, I couldn't do it, or it was just hard and it cut me and I was bleeding. Just those pebbles can slow you down. And for me, it's the naysayers. For me, that's my pebble. And above all of that, the naysayers sometimes is me. The naysayers is sometimes us. The naysayers sometimes are your parents. The naysayers sometimes is your boss. The pebble, I should say, is sometimes your boss. The pebble sometimes is your parents. Pebble sometimes is your spouse. And what do you do about it? So you won't keep yourself from reaching your goal. This high mountain here. Can you imagine getting to the top or not getting to the top because that pebble and that wears you down? Some people need that little burr in the side, but at what cost? So I think it's good to identify what that is and quiet it. Take it out of the shoe. You can keep it. Keep it in your pocket, but get it out your shoe because it impedes you from forward motion. It impedes you from doing the things that you need to do, that you have told yourself that you need to do, or that feel good for you to do. So my encouragement is to take the pebble out, identify it, and keep it as a remembrance piece. This pebble tried to stop me, but it's in here in my pocket because I did what was necessary to put it in its place. Oh, hallelujah. Put it in its place so I could keep going and reaching my goals. And so you want to get to the top of this mountain and let that fatigue, like that blood, sweat, and tears be the reason why you wore out and not that pebble. You got to first start with removing it or putting it in its place. Remove it, put it in its place, and then acknowledge it as your motivation to keep going. I love, love that. And I'm sure for him in the world of boxing, he came across a lot of pebbles that tried to wear him down. And, some of us have those pebbles that have worn us down, that has stopped us. I can tell you that for me, my pebble was definitely naysayers, but for me, definitely me. So here comes the story part. because I like to share stories that connect with you. I don't like to just get up here and talk about something, a quote, and teach at you and not give you a little bit of transparency and connection of what I did and how I got to the other side. Because, you're not going to always, and I don't always. It takes practice. It does. Training, intention, good vibes, thoughts to get you on the other side. But the story goes is I was decided that I wanted to implement a course to my life and skills. So I went back to school in order to do that, to get some more letters behind my name or some more certifications and things of that nature. And at the time I did it, I had kids, I was working, I full-time job, I had organizations that I was in, and I decided this in the midst of it. And I can't tell you how many people pretty much told me that this was something I shouldn't be doing. And that advice or those suggestions or those words really put me in a place of believing and thinking that I could. And so, therefore, I went into the situation, got into school, enrolled, and there the pebble formed. So, as I'm walking, trying to get towards my goal, I am being reminded that I can't do this, that I got too much on my plate. Now, I'm not talking about concern. Now, you're going to have people that voice their opinion, give you advice, they're concerned, but I'm talking about the people who, at every turn, you say something, they're like, oh, I can't believe you're still doing that. You can't do that. That's what I'm talking about, that type of pebble. And so from that pebble grew a big rock, really, for me, because it solidified in my mind that I couldn't do it. So I suffered. I suffered. I did not do well that first semester like I knew I could. But because I allowed that, it made that journey much more harder and wore me down. But it wasn't until I had a little bit of positive self talk and I was reminded of who I am and whose I am that I was able to draw on the strength of those ancestors, those people around me, positive people, church members, other mentors, work, pastors, whoever, and just reminded me who I was. And I was able to take that rock out, take that, because it had grown to a rock because I let it grow to a rock. Put it in the pocket and kept on soaring. And I did that. I did that and excelled, made great grades after that. But in order to climb that mountain, had to identify the pebble, take it out, put boundaries on it, put it in its place, and acknowledge that that was the fuel that helped me going, to keep me going, and not stop me from going and not wear me down. So that's our connection to that story about me and my mountain and my pebble. So I hope that that helps. I hope that resonated with you. I hope that encouraged you to take that pebble out and acknowledge it and keep climbing your mountain. I'm not going to sing again, but because I did that on another episode, but you never know what you might get. Whatever motivates me at the time in hopes that it'll motivate you. But thank you so much for tuning in. That was today's show. I am your host, Deni Kay. I hope that this led you to the point of inspiration and greatness because that's my job here, right? Whatever you do, wherever you go, whatever you touch, you can make the difference for yourself and for others. Absolutely, positively, you can do it. I know you can. Until next week, I look forward to seeing you absolutely and positively. Take care, guys, and go after your mountain.